represents something of psychological import that you're all familiar with, but that you might not know that you're familiar with. Symbols are often like that. A symbol often stands for something that you know, but that you don't know that you know. There's lots of things that you know that you don't know that you know. Almost everything is like that, in fact. And it's rather obvious if you think about it, because if you were transparent to yourself and you knew everything you knew, you wouldn't have to study anything about psychology because you'd understand yourself completely. And we understand ourselves poorly. And so we have to study ourselves as individuals and then, you know, as phenomena in the world, as other people, and as mammals, and as animals, and as living things, and as political actors, and so on, just to get some minor notion of what's actually going on. And what that means in part is that you're more complicated than you can understand. And when you hear, say, psychoanalytic thinkers talking about ideas like the unconscious is actually a representation in some ways of the fact that there's far more to you than you know about. And what that means also is that there are different kinds of unconscious, and we certainly know that to be the case. There are different kinds of memory, for example. So a lot of your procedural knowledge is unconscious. And so your procedural knowledge is what allows you to do things like ride a bike, or walk for that matter, because you don't really know how you walk. It's actually a controlled fall, so you lean forward and then you use your legs to stop you from falling on the ground. It's encoded in your architecture rather than something that's apprehensible to your conscious understanding. Now, there are lots of phenomena that are procedural and unconscious, and then there are sort of borderline phenomena that you have some idea about that you can represent, but you still don't completely understand. So those sorts of representations tend to be more imagistic, and those are the sorts of things maybe that pop up in your fantasies and your dreams, and those are also the sorts of unconscious sources of knowledge that allow you to understand, say, complex works of literature or art that draw their meaning from multiple sources simultaneously and attempt to inform you at a deep level about how things are connected and how they're different.